Guys, I got to tell you, the only sensible thing, it appears to me, that Greg Hardy has done in the last couple of years is when the suspension got reduced from 10 to 4 games. He didn't try to get it knocked down to 2 after all. He gave up that battle. Outside of that, I can't think of one sensible thing this man has done in these latest comments this week. I don't know what to make of it. Tommy, what do you make of it?
I think first and foremost, Greg Hardy has to understand the situation that he's in. I disagree with Jerry Jones. What did he really mean? You have to be aware of the situation that you're in, that you've been convicted by a judge of domestic violence. So when you say guns are blazing, it's going to mean something different. We're going to accept it as something different. I think that the comments about Tom Brady's wife, her sister, their friends, certainly inappropriate, out of order, over the line. So he appears to me, you know, when Jerry Jones talks about being contrite, he appears to me to be someone who has zero remorse for what has happened, and then you have to wonder what's going to happen in the future. But I can't play morality police here. So Jerry Jones has to decide what he's comfortable with. Jason Garrett has to decide what he's comfortable with.
Have you ever thought for 1 minute that he just doesn't know what he's saying?
It's hard to believe.
No, it may be hard because you figure, okay, he's an NFL player, he's making a bunch of money, he should be smart enough to know. But when I look at the situation going all the way back to Carolina to today, he just doesn't know. He just doesn't know.
But is that an excuse?
He just doesn't understand. And sometimes when people just don't understand things, they need help. They need somebody other than someone telling them, oh, you said the wrong thing. Maybe there's medication involved. Okay, maybe those things. Maybe they're trying to help him, because the Dallas Cowboys, at the end of the day, they're one of the best organizations in terms of getting players and helping turning their lives around, whether it been a Michael Irvin or a Charles Haley or even Dez Bryant, is most recent, to change some things. Now, he's been there for a little bit now, but he still came out with the story about Giselle saying some of those things. The one thing I would say about that, if he meant anything, is disrespectful.
Yes.
You don't never say anything about a man's wife, sister, none of that. Just play football.
Right.
Just try and at least do that.
Right. The question is, does he belong in the league? And through almost 100 years of football, we've had a lot of guys do a lot of things that we wouldn't agree with. The question for me is not that. The question for, as an organization, or guys that have represented the NFL, there was a certain standard that we used to have, not only on the field, but off the field. Are we going to continue to allow the standards to slip just for one player? Now, all these rules have been collectively bargained. He's been penalized. He missed 15 games last year, made $13 million. Dallas signed him to an $11 million contract. But at some point, those 32 owners have to ask, which is more important? My overall morality or this guy's ability to rush the passer?
Let me come back to you here, though, CC, because you bring that up, and I'm looking at a guy like Ray Rice.
Oh, my God.
Who comes across, he's contrite, he's apologetic, he is still with his wife, who was his fiancée at the time. She is now his wife. The level of contrition that this man has showed, nobody in the NFL, meaning amongst those owners, seem to be.
But I can answer that for you.
Why not?
Because he can play and he can't
Risk-reward.
Simple.
What's the production?
Now, let me tell you.
And it's the video.
Let me tell you something.
I'm just asking.
Them other 32-1 owners need to stop freaking lying. They got all kind of crazy dudes on their roster, and they saying Ray because Ray had the video and he was the first one. But if you talk about a man, all right, because I talked to him. I just got off the phone with Ray. We having lunch next week. He continually working on himself as a man. He's volunteering at his high school. So if Hardy can play, which I say, okay, why ain't Ray playing today?
Well, we know what we know where we're going with that, right? Because what you're saying is there's a level of hypocrisy that's being exercised, and it's very, very flagrant.
If Greg Hardy gets 3 sacks today, you will hear very little about his comments about guns are blazing or Tom Brady's
then the morals that we constantly speak about ain't as real and as authentic as they're claiming it to be. They're just giving lip service to it because it seems appropriate. That's what you're saying?
Given what we've been through the last 2 years in the NFL, especially the last 12 months, you would think that we would have learned and we would stop victimizing the victims. Because trust me, that young lady, if she watches the game today and see him on the field, She's going back to getting her head stuffed into a toilet, being thrown onto a bunch of beds with guns, and also a guy they paying $11 million to told her, "I'll kill you."
And he made a mockery of the situation months later with a rap video, which is even one of the reasons I say he just doesn't know.
He just doesn't know. He just doesn't get it. But like Chris said, it doesn't hide the hypocrisy on the part of the owners and doesn't negate the fact that this guy appears to have a problem.